Hey Lamb, hey Mayhem. I'm running a little bit late today, but that's alright, we'll catch up. How you guys doing today? I'm out here solo today. The missus is taking care of some business on our little Panama City house that we're selling. And she said she'd try to get out here if she can, but whenever I just got home and checked, and she was still getting cleaned up and on the phone and doing all kinds of stuff at the same time. Hey Swanjan, thanks for coming, buddy. But at any rate, we'll see what happens. So you guys see Old Glory flying back here today. That's the United States flag. I'm sure all you guys know that. But I figured I'd put it up this week because actually William Paganouse's birthday was yesterday. And so I thought, well, you know what? We'll just fly that for William. I think he's up in New Jersey. Hi, Miss Rita. I'm by myself, but I'm gonna try to behave. I'll do the best I can. So if I miss you guys some of your comments, I do apologize in advance. I don't have misses out here keeping me straight. Hey Jimmy, the Jimmy Riddle Show. We love you, Jimmy. I'm just kind of setting up a few things. Hey, can y'all hear the music? My little speaker, I dropped it and it hadn't worked since. So I just turned my iPad on and let it play on one of my playlists. Cheers, Lungin. Lamb, you know what the 13 stripes stand for? There's a lot of symbology in everybody's flag. And, you know, of course, the stars represents the states. And the stripes represent the original 13 colonies. And then, of course, you got the red, which represents the sacrificial blood that everybody's given for our country over the many, many years. There's a lot more to the American flag, you know, and the way it's supposed to hang, and a lot of flag etiquette and stuff like that. But at any rate, it's up there. So, I've got quite a few things I want to show you guys today, and this is more of a show and tell type thing, I guess. I will do some reloading and show you some of my equipment, but the first thing that I want to do is, that's right, 13, that's right, Lammy, I barely caught that on my monitor, and you guys all know my monitor's super fast, so I got to pay attention to it. But the first thing I want to go ahead and show you and get going is the tumbler, the system that I use to clean the brass after I've taken the primers out of them. You know, and all of the brass that I'm showing you today is once fired brass that I've shot or friends have shot or whatever, and I've saved it up, and I've actually got some in the tumbler now, and I'm going to turn the camera so you guys can see the tumbler. And I'll show you how it works, but I will take the tumbler into the other room because it's quite loud when it's going. So, you guys bear with me for a second. Alright, so what this is just a plastic cylinder that has these caps on each end of it. And what I'll do is I'll put the spent brass inside here, which I've already done. You can see there's some rounds already in there. And these are some that I processed throughout the week just to get them ready to go, because I don't have enough time in a day to do the video if I did it otherwise. But anyway, I'll add some detergent, and believe it or not, it's just turtle wax car wash detergent. And it works fantastic. It kind of puts like a little wax coating on the brass. It doesn't take a whole lot either, just probably a shot glass full. Hi Phil, glad you can make it. I'm doing good. Roll Tide, Katrina, roll Tide. I hope you're feeling better, sweetheart. I'm so sorry you feel bad. Alright, I'll secure the lid on it. And it sits up here on top of this. Let me move this thing. And the way that it works, you can see all, you know what, you can't see that very well. So, what I use for media is these little bitty pins. I don't know if you can see that very well. It's just little bitty stainless steel pins. And there's thousands of them inside here. And that really cleans the brass real well. But I put it in this machine here. You can see it's got a dial. And I just turn it on. There you go. That's how it works. So, give me just a second. And I'm going to put all this media in here so I don't lose it. Give me just a second. I want to take this in the other room so it's not so loud, and then I'll turn and we'll start looking at some of the other stuff. I'll go ahead and turn the camera for you guys. Y'all can look at the flag for a little bit. I'll be right back. Alright guys, I'm back with you. That takes about 30 to 45 minutes. See Swanjan saying hi to Belle. Belle, man, I didn't see your name, but I was in another room. But how you doing? I hope you're doing good today. So, I guess the first thing I'll show you guys and talk you through is how I process the brass. What I do, this is a round that's been fired. Okay, and a lot of people ask, how come the end of it's darker right there? Well, that's because it's annealed, and I'll go into that in just a second. Let me answer Mayhem's question, the purpose of cleaning the cases. If I don't clean the cases, whenever they're reloaded, there's a whole lot of soot from the gunpowder inside the cases, and what happens is it builds up over all of the case in general. Also, I have to clean the case so it doesn't get stuck in my press, which I'll be talking about here in just a second. Whenever I deprimer the brass. So let me turn this camera so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So this is my reloader. It's an RCBS 2000. It's a progressive loader, which means you have 5 stations. And every time I pull this handle down and back up, it rotates the shell to the next station. So another part of it is these dies. So these dies are very specific. This black piece is a die block. So you don't have to have multiple ones of these, but I do. These 2 pieces are the actual dies that are going to resize the brass to the proper size. Whenever a firearm is fired, this brass actually flexes and seals inside the gun barrel and then shrinks back down whenever it's ejected. But the brass is still oversized. I couldn't take this piece of brass and put in another rifle because it's swollen beyond its tolerances, and I need to bring those tolerances back. So what I'll do, I think first what I'll do, I chose these 4 rounds, actually 5 rounds, I can reload about 5 times to answer that question that I didn't catch who said that. But I can reload approximately 5 times. And I'm glad you asked that, because after the 5th time, what happens is these rounds, they start cracking at the neck, which is not good at all. So, that was Katrina asked me that. So, after about 5 times, hey Terry, I just saw you. I'm all by myself today, so I'm trying to keep up with the chat, and I apologize. Y'all, if I miss a question, keep putting it in there, and I'll keep looking up and answering it. But at any rate, after these rounds have been fired to the max, I take them. This is a 223, 5.56, M16, AR-15, whatever you want to call it. Okay, they're all the same. There is very slight differences in 223 and 5.56 brass. The 5.56 is military grade brass. It's a little heavier, a little thicker, and also, if you look closely at this primer, I don't know if you can see that, there's actually a little crimp around the primer that holds the primer in, whereas the 223 ammunition is not like that. It actually is tapered. You can't see that very well either, but trust me, it is. Hey Mark Dennison, good to see you, buddy. I'm solo. I don't know how many times I'll say that. But at any rate, I have to take this crimp off so that the primer will press inside. If I don't take the crimp off, you can't get the primer inside the shell. So I'm going to take these 4 rounds, and they're clean enough to do what I'm doing. I'll run them through the tumbler at a later time. But the first thing I want to do is take some of this. This is 1-shot case lube, okay? And what that does, that lubricates inside of these dies so that the round doesn't get stuck in there. Believe me, that is a pain in the butt when a round gets stuck in there. But I'm going to take these 5 rounds and I'm going to push the primers out of them so that I can show you guys how filthy it gets inside there. And these dies are multi-function. This first die that you'll see the round go to is also the depriming die. It's got this little bitty pin, and it does multiple things. That's right, even bullets eat sex butter. If you reload, I'll answer Lamb. If you reload at the level I do with a progressive, it's considerably cheaper, and also I can make my ammunition much more accurate. And I think it'll be part 4 of this series when we go to the range and you guys actually get to see me shoot some of this ammo at the range. So this is kind of a 4-part. I'm going to do a reload. Okay, it's going to be 1 showing you how I process the ammunition. And then part 2, I'll probably break down some of my firearms. I'll bring them out here and show you what I'm going to be taking to the range, and you guys will get to see how they come apart and how they work and all that crap. And then part 3 or 4, I hadn't decided how I'm going to do it yet. We will actually go to the range, and I'll do a live feed out there so you guys can see that. So I'll put the depriming pin back in, and what I do is I just lay the empty rounds inside this little tray so I can reach in and get them. And I put a pretty liberal coat of that case lube. Some people call it anti-stick, case lube, whatever. I just call it case lube. So, take the first round. Actually, let me see if I can get y'all closer to this. I want you guys to be able to see what's happening. Alright, it looks pretty good right there. So I'll take the empty round, I'll put it in the first position. And I'll simply pull the handle straight up. And I don't know if you heard that, but that little click was the primer going inside the little catch can on the bottom. That's the little primer that just came out of it. Very tiny. And there's several different size primers. You got small rifle, small pistol, large pistol, shotgun. You know, there's several different primers. So I'm want to disconnect the feed for the powder right quick. And the reason I disconnect this, you'll see momentarily. So I'll put the next round in, bring it up. There's the primer going in. Okay, you see how that just raised up? If I had this arm attached, it would have opened this valve and gunpowder would have went in the shell, which I don't want. I'm just trying to take off the primers right now. Oh, you bastard. Alright, so now you guys get to see what happens whenever the round gets stuck. And this is what I was telling you about that you don't want to happen. So what's happened is the little part here that the plate grips to, every now and then you get a round that's bent or whatever, and I have a lot of trouble with these military grade rounds. What happens is it gets stuck in there, and I have to take these pliers and kind of wedge it out. And once I get it out, now I'll take a drift and I'll just knock it back out. And you can see what happens. It shears off the little ears. But anyway, only got a couple more. I really like this machine, so you guys have seen me work that operation of it. Now that it's on the 5th arm, whenever I come back down, it automatically pushes it in, and if I was loading now, I'd be putting another shell in and continue on around. Alright. That one's still good. Just put it right top. Okay. You guys can see that. See how black that is inside there? That's all the soot from the gunpowder. So what I'm going to do next, I told you guys it had that military crimp on there. I want to take that crimp out so whenever I start putting primers in it, the primer will actually go into the shell. So I'm going to turn you guys around to my little contraption that I use to do that. I'm actually going to spin the camera around instead of taking it all the way over there. Alright, here we go. Come on. There we go. And zoom in. Alright. So this little tool right here, has teeth on it, and it's designed specifically to cut this military groove out so I can put new primers in. And here's how it works. It works this simple. Turn it on. You see how shiny that is now? That's all you. That quick. That's right, the monkeypox. You just call Captain, I'll talk you through it all. Alright. Now that we've talked about that part, let me see if I can get the camera. Alright. So, yeah, you can, alright, there you go. There's a good, see how it's tapered now? Now with that taper, I'll be able to push in my primers here in a little bit. So that take care of these rounds. Go back to these. Now then, I've got some dummy rounds right here, and when I say dummy rounds, I mean they're not live. Well, actually that one's live. But I use these for training purposes, and I also use them to set up my rifles. And I'll just tell you what they are. This little bitty one right here, this is a 9mm. Okay, some of you might have heard of 9mm Luger. That's what this is. Okay. This is a 45 caliber ACP, my personal favorite. By the way, the 9mm, this is the round that the United States Army uses in their pistols up until a couple of years ago, and they went to, I think they went to the 40. This is 45 ACP. This is what we carried all the way past Vietnam up into the 80s. This is what we currently use in our rifles, U.S. military rifle. This is a 5.56 or a 223, AR-15, whatever. So, that's the active round we use today. This round here is a 300 Blackout, which I'll go into that a little bit more when we talk about the guns. I didn't catch it, Swungen. You two what? I'm sorry, I missed that. But anyway, this is a 30 caliber bullet, and this is one I made out of an old one of these. 7.62, yeah, 7.62, that's correct, Swungen. That is what this, no, this, I'm sorry. This is 7.62, okay, or 30 caliber. But it's in a 300, hey, there's Mr. Ray Paul. How's it going, Mrs.? I hope it's going good. Now then, this is one of the rounds that I'll be shooting when we go to range day. This is 308, okay, 7.62 by 51, okay, 308. It's considerably larger than the 5.56, as you can tell. And what I was talking about when I said I made this round, what that means is, whenever I get one of these that starts to crack, or it's met its service life, I take it and I cut it down to where it looks like that. And then I put my 300 Blackout dies in my reloader, and I run it through, and it puts this neck on there, and that neck's what grabs a hold of the bullet. Yes, Swungen, I've got to, I am going to go to the range. We are going to definitely go to the range. I just have to be selective of when I go because of the weather. I definitely don't want to go on a rainy day. So I'm going to schedule that in the future, but you guys are going to have to forgive me if I have to cancel it because of weather. This is the die set that I've got together for 308. Okay, it's a lot bigger, but it does exactly the same thing as the 5.56 does. You can see the D-priming pin right there. All right. So, and before I had that little tool on that drill press over there that's upside down, this is what I used. I did all of them by hand, and that sucked. This goes up in the primer and cleans the primer, and this puts the little taper on it. And yeah, that was time consuming. Alright. So if you want to see a 9mm bullet out of its bullet case, there's a 9mm and there's a 45. There's a 5.56. That is 308. And this big bastard right here is 300 blackout. Okay, the reason that bullet is so large is because most of the bullet is inside the casing. And I only put a very minimal amount of gunpowder in here because I want this bullet to go slow, and you guys will see why later. My 300 blackout, my 5.56, and my 308 are all suppressed, and it makes a huge difference in this, the size of this, and the speed of it makes a big difference. So that does matter. Don't need that. And I'm slowly but surely. The reason I'm having to turn around so much, guys, is all this equipment is actually on the workbench beside me, and it's usually all attached to the workbench over there. So I had to move everything over to this table so I wasn't walking all over the shop with you guys. Where are the missiles at? I don't have any missiles, Mark. I do have a missile launcher that's in my man cave. It's a I'm trying to think. It's not a javelin. It's a, and we don't even use them no more. It's a tow rocket launcher. It's just a fiberglass tube about this big around, probably 4 feet long, that hangs off the helicopter. And used to, when we would fire that missile, the missile would come out, but it had a wire attached to it. That, I don't know how long the wire was. It was like freaking 4 miles long or something. But anyway, that wire is how we drove the missile to the target from the helicopter. But that's old news. We don't even do that anymore. We got all new technology. Alright, what's next? Alright guys, I'm going to show you another little tool that I use. I showed you the 45 ACP. Y'all can't see that for shit. Let me move this over here. Alright, that's a little bit better right there. Don't need the helicopter in my drawing. Yeah, Lamb, that's for sure, man. It's steadily headed that way. Alright. This little tool right here, this red tool, that's the sizing tool. And I've got it set up for 45, which I showed you guys a while ago. That's the 45 bullet. Well, it's a cast bullet. Yeah, UAVs are all the rage these days. You know, they're recruiting guys right out of high school and giving them like $10,000 bonuses to learn how to fly those things. It's ridiculous. Anyway, this bullet, projectile, whatever, is cast, and it's just lead. Well, when it comes out of the mold, it's a little oversized, and it's got little burrs. It's got all kind of little things wrong with it, and you don't want to load it, because if you load it and shot it out of your pistol, it'd get bound up in the pistol. So what we do is I take this bullet, or projectile, and I set it right there, and shove it right up through that sizing die, okay? And you noticed it didn't come back down. So we'll put the next one on, and just continue on like this. And what I'm doing, I'm sizing these bullets to the proper size so that whenever I put them in the shell casing, I'm able to fire them. They're the proper diameter for the gun barrel. And you can see they're starting to fill out on the top there. And that's how it's made. But if you've never seen how bullets are sized, this is how you do it. And what that does, that die, as this ram shoves it up in there, this die shrinks the bullet down to the proper size. And then I'll just open the lid. And they're all sized to the proper size. Probably shouldn't be doing that with a live round, but anyway. Alright, that's that. Now I'll show you guys the primers that I'll be using. So, this is how I set up my primer strips. Safety third, that's right. Okay, so these are the primers. This is what our government here a while back was trying to regulate, because if you don't have primers, you don't have rounds. Okay, and there for a while you couldn't get primers. I buy them in a case of 1,000, and at one time they were $14.95, I think, and now they're like $60. So our government is steadily screwing us on that, but that's okay. We only got a couple more years of that dipshit. So, but anyway, the way it works, these are the actual primers right here. Okay, you can see them. Those are the little primers. And the way this machine works is you take the primers and you dump them out in the little tray. Hi, Cecilia. And then once you get them on the tray, you put this little cover on there and you rock it back and forth, and it flips all the primers over in the right direction. And then I put this this strip goes inside like that. Okay, and once I get the strip in there, I lean it over and get the primers on top of the strip, and then they mash down onto the strip. That's how that works. And this is what you end up with. Okay, it's a primer strip. And you guys are fixing to see how I use that here in just a second. Alrighty, one more thing I want to talk to you guys about so you kind of understand how all this works. Okay, I gotta back you guys off of that. Alright, this apparatus here, the way this works, let me lift this up. Alright, that is a case sizer, okay? And what that means is these cases have a certain overall length that they have to be. So, we'll take the calipers and I'll measure the overall length of the brass, okay? And that is 1 inch 750 thousandths, okay? Then I go to my reload book that has all the formulas and all the dimensions for all of these different ammunitions, and I go to 223 or 556. And in this book, this is a civilian book, so it's going to be 223. If it was a military mil-spec book, it would be 556. So I go to this book, big old thick quantity reloading reference, and I look up 223, and you can see that the max overall length is 1 inch 760. Okay, but when you go down here to reading this, max case length 1,760, case trim length 1,750. So we want that case to be 1 inch 750 thousandths long, and that's exactly what this one is because I trimmed it already. Okay, and the way it works, I'll put you back on this. Okay, now I've already set this up because I reloaded some here a while back, and Mark Dennison, Remington or your money back. You know what? I do like Remington. I am a fan of Remington. However, I absolutely love these Hornady VMAX projectiles that I use. I love them. They're just little ballistic tipped 5.56 rounds, and I buy them by the case, and they're awesome. They shoot straight. I really like them. But anyway, so it's got a little tip right here, and that tip is what's going to size this, okay, this end. So it's set up on a collet, And I just turn the collet until the round is suspended, just like that, okay? And I can already see this one's, it's already set up. So I'm not gonna, well, I don't have one I can do. But anyway, what I would do is I would turn this with my drill. I've already set up my stop on this end. I would turn this with my drill and it would simply cut that down to the proper length. It is, Mark. That's exactly right. It's a mini rocket launcher because you got the powder, you got the projectile, and then you've got the primer. And there's all kinds of different sizes. That's for a 30 cal, for the big one that I showed you. And like I said, that just that goes on here and keeps this straight, and it also helps with the deburr, and it doesn't get a burr near as bad. But anyway, that's how I cut them down to the proper length. Alright, for those of you who have never seen gunpowder before, and I don't know if there's anybody in here that hasn't, but there are multiple different types of gunpowder. This particular powder is IMR 3031. Now what these numbers represent is the, you've got several different numbers and several different names, and each one of these numbers means something different. For example, this IMR 3031 I use specifically for my 5.56, and I use a lot of this stuff. It works good, it's kind of dirty, but it's cheap, and I've dialed in my ammunition with it. But it is a stick powder, and when I say stick, I mean the gunpowder, you can see it kind of looks like a little stick there. Whereas some other powder that I use is called a ball powder, which I would rather use ball powder because it loads so much easier. Whenever I'm reloading, it doesn't crunch and do all that stuff. But this is what I use for 5.56, and I like this stuff, but what I don't like about this stuff is it don't give you any load data, okay? I'm not going to smoke around it, Mark, I promise. But back to this book. Go back to the 223, I go to the 55 grain bullet, which is here. And then I find IMR 3031, and it takes, the maximum load is 22.8 grains, minimum is 20.5. I'll tell you, I load mine 21.2 because I am suppressed, and I try to slow the bullet down as fast or as slow as I can get it. So that's how you figure out your load data. I do. Yeah, that's a good one, Lamb. That's a good one, buddy. I didn't see that one coming. But I do like this powder because it gives you the load data. I can get in there. So, let's see. Yeah, the first number is 9mm Luger. I can use it on 9mm, 357. I'm trying to get it to focus. It ain't focusing for jack crap, is it? But anyway, these are all bullet sizes, okay? 9mm, 357, 45, all of that. In the next column, it tells you which bullet size to use, and then case, it gives you all the information that that book gives you right there on the bottle, and I really like that. It's very handy. Alrighty. Alright, so the first thing we want to do, reloading, as far as it goes with the actual reloader, we want to set up our powder, the powder hopper. We want the right amount of gunpowder going in there. And if you remember, I said that IMR was 21.2 grains of powder. So how do we get 21.2 grains of powder? And this, when I say 21.2 grains of powder, okay, there is a give and take. If you're up around 21.7, 21.0, 20.8, about 5 either way, you're going to be okay. And when you're doing a progressive loader, you'll be lucky to get 5. Hey Charlie, how you doing, buddy? We're talking bullets. So I'll show you guys how I do that. Let me turn my little weighing machine on. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Alright, so You can see it says 0 on this little scale. Now this particular shell casing is actually dyed purple for a reason. Okay, this is my length that I measure, and also it has a spent primer in it so that I can use this as a cup to put powder in to measure it, because everything's measured by grains and by weight. So I'll put the empty casing on there, and I'll hit the tar button, and it zeroes it out. So it compensates for the weight of this. Now, I'll move you guys over here and zoom in on this. I'm actually going to put you on the tripod so that I can really get in here and let you see what's going on. Okay. I'm going to try to get you guys in here where you can really see what's going on. Gotta be careful, I can't zoom in too much or you won't see what's going on with the big picture. Alright, I'm going to leave it right there, I guess. You can see all the operations. Somebody said something about 220. I missed that. Who was that? Alright, so I want to set my powder up. I want to know how much powder I'm putting in this shell. So what I'll do is I'll put it in the station that gets the powder into the shell, and I'll just raise it up. Okay? I'll drop it back down, take it out of there, and I'll weigh it. I'm at 22.4. Remember, it was supposed to be 22.2. Let me tell you, folks, 2 grains, that's like 3 pieces of powder. A grain is very, very light. Start making a magnet pulse ball bearing launcher. Yeah, that'd be cool. Kind of dangerous, but it'd be cool. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and set this up and start loading some up. And there's kind of a little rhythm you get into once you get comfortable with it. By the way, there's the primer strip installed. I've got the powder set up. All the other dies are set up. We're ready to run some bullets through here. So, let me pull the chair over. Get a drink. Anybody got any cool stories? No? Here we go. Now, one thing I didn't tell you about, whenever this handle goes forward, it continues to stroke down. And that's putting in the primer right there. So I've got a primer in that one now. Somebody give. If you guys noticed how this thing kind of jerks every now and then, that's because I'm using stick powder. And it gets bound up in here and it kind of crunches itself. That's one of the disadvantages of stick powder. Alright, first projectile going in a case. And these are so small that I have to kind of help them and hold them on to get them in the die. Mark, no, yes. Well, not with a projectile in. I've had a primer go off. And what happened, I went to press the primer in. Well, whenever I did, I got it bound some kind of way. I don't know how I did it, but the primer went off. And it scared the shit out of me. I'm not going to lie. And it was like a really, really, really loud cap gun. But I know how the machine feels, generally speaking, and I can usually tell if something ain't right. Just like that. And every now and then you get one that just doesn't want to take the primer. It happens. Yeah, you do. You got to be careful. I mean, it's just like anything else, you know. You don't get in a hurry. Take your time, you know. And usually when something like that happens, I just finish what's going and then start over. I'm not going to try to catch back up and all that. So I'll just put the bullets on and be done with that. That's not really dangerous. You'd be surprised what it takes to set off one of these rounds. You know, it takes an effort. Yeah, it's not just going to go off. Yeah, don't stress. Swanson's right. Don't sweat. Alright, now that I've done a couple of them, what I like to do is I'll take my known weight, this one that I started with, and I loaded one bullet, made sure I had all my powders right, exactly where I wanted them, and then I weighed that bullet. So the reason for doing that is so that I can take that bullet and compare it to what I'm doing now. And I got 171.4. 171.4. Let's say I'm on the right track. So I'll continue on. I was really concerned about the stream tonight because it rained so hard today. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. Thanks, Phil. Phil says I've got his confidence. And you can see once you get kind of going with it, it doesn't take long to knock out a whole bunch. Somebody tell Alec Baldwin that. That's priceless, Katrina. What a dickhead. Matter of fact, I think it's sprinkling again. You hear Warrant and Diva in the background? Yeah. Apparently we've got a new neighbor, and I don't think Warrant likes them. Oh, that's kind of cool. Reloading bullets, talking to my buddies. How cool is that? Alright, I'll finish these out. You guys get the point. And I've got to go and get that stuff that's been in the tumbler and pull it out. Alright. Actually, that's Diva. That's actually Diva barking, making all that damn racket. I can tell by her bark. So, let's measure some of these. Actually, let me get the camera back over here. Get this where you can see it. Alright, we're zeroed out. Let's measure. You guys read that? You can't read that, can you? There we go. Alright, watch that number right there. Okay, this is how I check these this ammunition. I don't always measure each one of them, but at random I'll pick some up. 171.2. 174.0. 170.2. You can see they're fairly close to each other. And what you have to understand is every one of these brass pieces are not the same. If I get a mil spec, it may be a little heavier than the others because it's thicker material. 172.4. What's your card pin number, Mark? What is it? What number? But yeah, as long as I'm within a grain point something, we're going with it. And they all seem to be. So you guys will definitely be seeing me shoot these rounds. Let's put that away. Got one last thing I want to show you guys, and then I'll set the camera up and we'll just shoot the breeze for a little bit. Alright, move all this out of the way. I'm going to step out, go in another room, and get the tumbler and bring it back in here. You guys stare at Old Glory for a minute and listen to music. Alright, go back over to this tumbler container. I don't know if you guys can see how dirty that is. It's just, this is just foam from the soap. Now you really can't tell. I'm going to have to take it outside and use the water hose and wash all the soap out. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not. I'm going to do something a little bit different. So, now that I've got all the brass washed, I got to get all those pins and all that out of there. So what I do is I put it in this little tumbler right here. Yeah, I'll be able to show y'all how nasty that is here in a second. And what this little jewel does, it allows me to spin this and what I'm doing right now, I'm spinning this so I can get all those little brass pieces out of the, or all the little stainless pieces out of the brass. Obviously you don't want any brass in there when you go to reload them. Yeah, Breaking Bad. Yeah, it's a tumble dry, yeah. So, I'll just spin this for a little bit. Alright, I think that's the biggest part of them. I'll transfer this over to my my other bucket. I'll go rinse it off, bring it back inside, and you guys see the finished product. Be right back. Mark, you headed out? All right, buddy. Thanks for coming. I'll catch up with you later. Awesome, Mark. Have a good time, buddy. Alright guys, I'm going to show you a finished product here. I got the little tumbler set out here on this, this is just a cooking pan that I borrowed from the missus, but because I couldn't find mine. I don't know where it's at. I've got one, but I can't find it. But anyway, I'll show you guys what the finished brass looks like. And this is where you want to get to. Still a bit of soap in there, that's okay. Because what I'll do is I'll submerge them again in fresh water and clean them up. So this is one that's been shot out of my rifle, and you can see how dirty and nasty it is. Okay, inside and out. It's pretty dirty. You see in the primer pocket. See how dirty that is? Now you can't really see. Compare that to this. But look how much cleaner it is. And even inside the primer pocket is shiny. But anyway, so what I do now, once I get them all cleaned up, normally I'd take this outside and give it a rinse just to get the rest of the soap off of it, but I use these lights. They're just heat lamps is all they are, and that puts heat on here and then helps it to dry any water that's left. And it takes about 20 minutes, and they'll be warm to the touch and completely dry. But at any rate, that's how I do that. I kind of want to get a water sample out of here. Oh yeah, that's gonna work good. I took a little cup and I stuck it in the bucket there. And when the bubbles go away, you guys will be able to see how dirty that water was. Set this over here by me. Alright guys, that's pretty much it on reloading. I know it's not a real fun video, but you know, if you're looking to get into it, or you know, if you've never seen it done, you know, it's kind of interesting a little bit, I think. But if you guys got any questions about it, ask away. Oh, you know what? Mayhem, are you still here? I totally forgot about this. So I can fire your guns. Yeah, come on over, mate. We'll shoot some guns, I promise. Yeah, we'll shoot lots of guns. Thanks, Jimmy Riddle. Hang on just a second, guys. Yes, anybody can reload, Katrina, to answer your question. Yes, it's totally legal. There's no license required. However, I will say, if you're going to reload and then sell your ammunition that you reload, yes, you do have to have a license to do that. See if anybody picks up on this song. Mayhem, this is for you, buddy.
This man will take care of it. You know what? Hello, everyone. This is your Action News reporter with all the news that is news across the nation. On the scene at the supermarket, there seems to have been some disturbance here.
Can y'all hear that?
Sir, did you see what happened?
Yeah, I did. I was just standing over there by the makers, and here he comes, running to the post.
Thanks, Swanson.
Naked as a jaybird. Heaven's over there, jams, jellies, preserves, papers. I hollered over there. I said, "Don't look, Ethel!" She dropped a whole jar of kumquats and fell back into the sweet vegetable side. Hell, it's too late. She done been incensed. Look at that, look at that. Look at that, look at that. Oh, yes, they call him the street. That's the thing on 2 feet.
Cheers, Swanson.
There seems to have been some disturbance here. Pardon me, sir, did you see what happened?
Yeah, I did.
All right, while we're listening to the streak, I want to show you guys what came out of that that batch of brass that we just cleaned.
Ethel's in there getting her a cold crank. I hollered in there. I said, "Don't look at them!" Too late.
See how brown that water is?
Flashed her right there
That's
in
what
front of
came
the
out of
shop.
all those shells. That's pretty dirty, ain't it?
Boogie dad, boogie dad. A boogie dad, boogie dad.
Well, yes, they call him the street. Like to turn you up cheap. He's always making the news, wearing just his tennis shoes. Guess you could call it unique. Hello once again, everyone. Your Action News reporter in the booth at the gym, covering the disturbance of the basketball playoff. Pardon me, sir, did you see what happened?
Yeah, I did. It's hay time. I just went down there to get Ethel a snow cone. Here he comes, right out of the cheap seats. Right down the middle of the court there, didn't have nothing on but his high-top Reeboks. He was dribbling. Made a jump shot, got out through the concession. I hollered up to Ethel, I said, "Don't look at them!" Too late, she done got a free shot. Grandstanded her right there in front of the home team.
Well, yes, they call it the street.
Whoa, here he comes again.
That thing,
Who's that with? Ethel? Is that
Tom
you,
Hanks
Ethel?
in the Bird. Yeah, I may do that.
Like you're going?
I may do that, Katrina. I've not met them. I don't know who they are. I don't know anything about them.
Yes, they call it the
I guess I probably need to.
Ethel, you like to show off how
That's awesome. I love the streak. I love Ray Stevens. He's awesome. Let's see. All right, that was cool. Well, guys, I'm going to actually I'm setting up my iPad to go back to my stuff. Give me just a second. Well, guys, I hope you guys got something out of that. I know you guys, not everybody that's on the stream is in the UK, but to all my UK friends, understand that there's strict limitations in what you can do with firearms and on and so forth. Being born and raised in the United States, I can't imagine that. I grew up on basically not a working farm, but a farm, country, if you will, and we've always had acreage and a lot of land to shoot on, and we build our own shooting ranges and all that kind of stuff. So I really feel for you guys, and I hope if any of you guys ever do come over here and see me, that will definitely be something we're gonna go do. And I've made several people stand in offer: Swangen, Mark Dennison, Katrina Dennison. You guys have expressed interest in coming and see us, and I really hope you guys do. I'd love to take you for a helicopter ride. I'd love to take you out to the range and let you, shoot some guns. And, of course, I'll go over some gun safety and that sort of business. I kind of get a little bit more serious when I fly and whenever I'm shooting. So, not just haphazardly go out there and start capping rounds. But anyway, I'm afraid that our country is slowly but surely heading the way that you guys in Australia and a few other countries did. I was listening to them today on the news talking about coming after our firearms and whatnot. And, we'll see. I hope not. But I really like it. I really enjoy reloading. It's kind of de-stressful. If you're stressed out, I can come out here and sit down and just run some ammo through my reloader and just chill out for a while. But anyway, with that, guys, I'm going to call it a day and get inside and see how Mrs. is doing. I hate it that you guys didn't get to see her this week, but bless her heart, she's up to her eyeballs and all this stuff, and I really need to get in there and help her with what I can. Yeah, I hope so, Phil. But guys, I'm glad you guys came along. I'm going to leave the stream going for a few minutes. I got a few things I need to pick up, and then I'll come back and say bye. But right now, I'll say bye to Swanson and Katrina, Mark, Phil, the Jimmy Riddle Show. Charlie was here at some point. Man, I don't even remember who else here, and I can't scroll. But everybody that came, I really appreciate it. I really appreciate your support. Rita, thanks for being here. You're welcome, Katrina. It was fun. Maybe the next one, part 2, I'll probably bring out some of my actual rifles and pistols and kind of take them apart and show you how they work, and just kind of introduce you to them and let you see what all I have. I won't bring them all out because I don't have enough room in the shop to put all of them. Matter of fact, I should probably do that in my where I keep all that stuff. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyway, I got to pick a few things up, gang. You guys talk for a minute, and then I'm going to be out of here. I actually just saw what you said, Charlie. Load that barbecue because you're hungry. If you watch on Friday and Saturday, sometimes me and the missus do a poolside, and a lot of times I'll have the grill going on that. So I don't know about this week. Our weather's been absolute garbage, but if the weather clears up, it wouldn't surprise me if we do a poolside Friday or Saturday night. We'll see. All right, gang. I just saw Lee S. poked his head in. Yeah, I'm sorry, Lee. If you just now got here, buddy, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're a little late. I'm actually done with the stream. You can rewatch though, and for anybody out there that's rewatching it, feel free to leave me comments if you like it. Great. If you'd like to see me go more into depth on some of this stuff, by all means. Hey, Chris R., how you doing, buddy? But yeah. And not just this, you know, you guys kind of got the idea of what I do in here. So if you run across a project or something around the house that you're having trouble with, or, you know, maybe I can help, I'll be more than happy to. if you just want me to make something, or I did the gear tutorial. A lot of people reached out to me on that via email, and I shot some private videos for some people on that, and they got a lot out of that. So if you guys come up with something we can build in the shop within reason, not like Mark's time machine, yeah, let me know, and we'll give it a go, see what we can do. But anyway, I'm gonna say goodnight to you guys. I'm gonna get in here and help Mrs. with whatever she's doing, and get ready for work tomorrow. So thanks for coming along, guys. I really appreciate it. Y'all have a good night. I hope to see you soon. Bye bye, y'all.